Hi, this is Dawn with the Loud Spot. This is Sebastian, my co-host for today, and we have Lena from Infected Rain. Lena Scissorhands, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having.
Oh no! Oh boy! Ah, here it comes! The motherfucking loud spot!
All right, before we get this interview started, I do want to remind everyone to please go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, comment. You can check us out on all podcasting platforms. Wherever you get your podcast, check it out. And Lena, we are excited to have you here and play your song "Longing" from Infected Rain. Take it away.
Let's
Go ahead.
go.
So, some quick questions, Lena. Um, you have a new album out.
Yes.
Okay, you want to tell us about it? What's the name of it? Tell us what it means.
Um, yes. In January, we released Ectasis. It's our fifth album, actually,
Mhm.
and the second album after we signed with the label. Um, it was very interesting because I feel like the album prior to this didn't have enough exposure. And it was our first album after we signed with the label, after being 10 years independent, right? So we waited for that so much, for releasing that, for touring with that. But unfortunately, we all know what happened in the world. So in the beginning, it was very hard on us, but then we just rolled our sleeves and we just started doing what we always do, working hard, creating, writing, composing. And I feel like what was happening in the world and a lot of what was happening in my personal life, some stories from the past, got to me in that specific, lonely and depressed moment that the entire world really was going through, right?
Right.
So I just started writing a lot, like all the time, just ideas down, a lot of ideas. And when my boys were ready to go in a studio and actually recorded and we talked about it, the songs were just almost like meant to be. Every single melody, I could find lyrics that could fit the emotion. So this entire album is very raw and very emotional and powerful. And I think the time we wrote it and influenced it a lot like that. Also, we had so much time to like also grow in as artists and have enough time to pay attention to every single detail because there was no deadlines. No one knew when this is going to end and how. So there was no deadlines at all. We just enjoyed it, made sure everything is the way we see it. And this is how Ecdysis came together. And at the same time, we were filming music videos and came up with the art idea. Like everything was done by us from scratch. The album artwork, the obviously writing and composing, recording even. I recorded myself actually. Yeah, I couldn't do anything else. I built a vocal studio in my house and I just recorded myself. Obviously, we finished and polished everything when it was possible to fly, and I worked with my band as well.
Hmm.
But that's like I never did that before, in my entire career. So I had to learn that from scratch. It took a lot of time and frustration.
Right.
But I learned a new skill that is so connected to what I do, and I feel like it actually gave me an opportunity to develop certain things in my vocals that I never was able to put out there because it wasn't ever just me,
Right.
just
You get
me
you get to
alone.
grow. You get to grow as an artist, especially like a lot of bands got to, especially during COVID. They got to really reflect on who they are as artists, take some time off, and a lot of bands. It seems like you've done the same thing. Personally, were able to develop your skills. You've already had them, but you were able to really focus on growing those. While because when before you're doing tours, you got to come up with new albums, you got to
Yeah,
do this. You don't really have time to just take a step back and learn. And sometimes that's super important to be able to do that as
yeah,
an artist, to self-reflect instead of just go, go, go. It's
absolutely.
good to do that. Coming from, you said you're from Moldova.
Yes, this is
O-
where I was born, and this
Okay.
is where the band was created as well.
And
And say
so,
that really, I'm sorry, Sebastian.
no, 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 no. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
And so that really all reflects back to the therapeutic process, the growth process to the name of the album, Ecdysis, right?
Yes, this is actually the idea came from our guitar player Vidic, and then the artwork idea came out from me because while we were filming the music video Postmortem Part One, I created that cocoon. I had that idea in my mind, and I remember my boys didn't support that idea right away because they were really afraid that it will look fake, the cobwebs and everything that we thought we could use to create that look. In their head, it made no sense. But I'm so happy that they finally were willing to try, and then our photographer. She's a friend of a band from our country. She was taking all these pictures, and while literally during the filming, while we were looking through her pictures on her camera, we were like, this is it for the album.
Yeah.
This is it. Like, it's the perfect metamorphosis, the process in the nature, like from a cocoon to a new life as a butterfly, and it was perfect. So that's how we did it.
I actually watched the video on that process, and it was pretty amazing.
Thank you. You
So
watched the
if
behind the scenes.
I did. So if you guys have not checked that out, definitely go to YouTube and check
Very
that out,
interesting. Mhm.
or go to their Facebook page and check that out because it was a very interesting process. It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I say your video longing is. I watched it last night for the first time, you know, and I was like, "This is fucking badass!" Like
Thank you.
the video,
Deep.
like the not only is the song good, but the video is very well made. Did you have was that made here in the United States? It made in Moldova.
Yes, so I will tell you a couple of important information about this, and you'll like it even more. So
Okay.
it was actually filmed in Moldova, and it was fully directed by my guitar player and fully edited by him.
Wow, that's
Yes.
impressive.
And he is very talented when it comes to videography, and he really wanted to start directing the music videos as well. In fact, all 4 singles from this album were directed and edited by our guitar player,
And his name is
Vidic. Yeah,
Vidic what?
the guys with the dreads. Yeah,
No,
he
I mean his last name, Vidic what?
just Vidic.
Just Vidic? Okay.
Yeah,
By their
that's
band
what-
names.
Amazing, amazing work.
There's one spot. I always get spoilers out, but that's okay. There's a spot in the video. I think is there like is it like just like an open kind of area, I guess, and there's like a wall there that kind of disappears or something like that. When I saw that, that impressed me. I watch a lot of music videos, and I saw that and I was like, that's pretty fucking cool. How they did that.
That's
So,
the post-production effect. Yeah.
So the rest of the bands in Moldova, you're living in the Vegas area.
Yeah.
What brought you to Vegas by yourself, and why hasn't the rest of the band followed? Are they supposed to move out there, or does it work out? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We are not the only band on the planet that members are not in the same country. You know what I mean?
True. Very true.
However, my move here wasn't really something I was trying to do. It's just how my life ended in a way. I was traveling. I made friends here. I made some work partners, and I had some really interesting projects going on. So I would come back and forth just like a tourist. I stay with some friends, and then one thing here, one thing there, and it just made sense to stay here because all my relatives don't live in my country. I only have the band there.
Gotcha.
My relatives live in Italy, where I used to live as well. I did university in Italy.
Cool.
And they are all there. So I'm kind of used to live far from my family, although it really sucks. But it's not something I do for the first time. I lived in other countries in my life. So
world traveler, huh?
it wasn't never. I mean, of course, we're touring, you know what I mean, normally. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes life is interesting. It just brings you places.
Yeah.
I used to live in Armenia. I have family on my father's side there, and I lived there as well. Went to school and all.
Would you say metal is would you say metal is no matter where you live, is it well received in other countries as much as it is here in the United States?
I believe this is probably the biggest, especially metal industry, the biggest like scene for it.
Okay.
But also, it's a very big country. If you can't compare such a humongous country with smaller countries, you know what I mean? Like Germany, for example, Sweden, Norway, they are very strong in metal as well. But you can put such a humongous country next to, of course, the numbers and like you will see big difference, you know what I mean? When I can tell you only one thing, when we are touring, we don't really see country, nationality, age, uh, gender. We don't really see that. We see music lovers, fans, people, emotion. So for us, it's just everybody's equal in our eyes.
The
Sure.
beauty of it all, the adventure,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. And it's got to be brave and courageous of you. You know, it's to me coming from a small town, traveling the world, even state to state, is sometimes intimidating. So,
yeah.
that's the
Things.
adjustments for
Absolutely.
that.
But I will tell you one thing. You're absolutely right, of course. However, there's one thing that's the scariest of them all. When you
Mhm.
travel so much, unfortunately, you lose people.
Mhm.
You lose friends, you lose loved ones. It happened to me so many times. It's very sad, very sad. But it's the sacrifice that a musician does. If you want to continue doing what you're doing, nothing comes for free. You know what I mean? Um,
Sacrifices. Yeah.
so I'm afraid this is the scariest part. It's not the actual put ourselves out there, or so much can happen on the road. We had accidents with the car. We had, thefts. We had, so much going on. Like we lost so much. We were fooled so many times, and like never like it was crazy journey. We've been around for 13 years, so there are a couple of interesting stories. However, they don't compare to the cleansing and the therapy you get when you're actually on stage and you share your art with the world.
So, what has been some of your most beautiful, treasured moments that is just right there at the forefront of your mind?
Well, of course, I can't. I would lie to say that the first show wasn't, because I was never ever in a band, and for me, that show was so important. I was nervous, but I remember stepping on stage and understanding that this is where I belong. And when the show was over, I remember promising to myself that I will try to do that for as long as I can physically. So that one is very strongly like printed in my mind.
Right.
But obviously, other humongous festivals where we got to meet some musicians that we kind of grew up around, like
Mhm.
listening. And it's such an interesting feeling how you end up playing sometimes on the same stage with those people that you listened as a teenager or something. Those moments are really intense. But other than that, every single show really. Every single show is so unique. It has ups and downs, dirty bathrooms and
Yeah.
no place to shower and a bunch of stuff like that, and you stink for days. But then, yeah,
Well,
it's
here's the thing, when you make friends in many states, many areas, hit them up.
mhm.
"Hey, I'm coming and crashing. I'm showering.
Yep.
Thanks." Guys, don't be afraid to do that. If you're in a band and you know that you're around their town, hit your friends up.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you spoke about shows and tours, and there's one that really stuck out to me, and that was, the Goliath tour.
Yes,
So
that
you
was
did that with Butcher Babies
yes,
and Stitched Up Heart,
yes.
and there was another band, Kaleida. Were they
No,
on?
they were only at 2 or 3 shows. I don't remember
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, so we had a couple of bands that would like have a couple of shows with us. Yes,
Mhm,
but normally it was three bands:
mhm,
Stitched Apart, us, and Butcher Babies.
mhm.
It was a great tour for so many reasons. So first reason being first tour after COVID. First, like our
Right.
it was our first tour in 19 months. So secondly, it was our very first tour in America,
Oh
which
wow.
Oh,
which was
wow.
mind blowing because being a band with so many years of experience. But guys, I know it's difficult to understand, but certain countries just have uh, a lot of obstacles in order to receive a permission for a visa to come to certain countries. Now, the agreement between different countries is different, and unfortunately, while we were independent, we never could have this permission to go and have a tour and come back, because I know a lot of people flee to different countries in hope for a better life. It's understandable. However, they made it really impossible for artists to travel. So not until we got signed, we had finally this opportunity, because we had such a strong, I would say, team that signed for us and accepted the risks or whatever. And yes, so that was incredible. But also another really, really awesome thing about this tour is that I'm close friends with Heidi, and it was amazing because it was like being on tour with friends,
Right.
So I knew half of the band before we went on tour, because they all live in different states. But I never met Stitched Apart. But when we met, everybody's super nice, super kind. We helped each other a lot during this tour, because we all had to kind of remember how it's done. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Yeah. Go back to the group. How many, just, I want to play your song Longing. How many, but I do got to ask, how many languages do you speak fluently?
I speak 4 languages,
Wow.
kind of at the same level, and I understand another 2, so little.
That's pretty cool. That's, I mean, hell, when
I
you're
studied
traveling around the world.
languages in the university, so I guess that helped a lot.
Absolutely. All right, let's play the song Longing. This is such a cool song. Everyone's going to love it. All right, let's check it out right now. Here we go.
Never
Very, very cool. I love the "Who are you?" Like I love that. And then when you say "Are you from the future or the past, whatever," I like that part of the song. I don't know how you get your voice so clearly. It's like a scream, but like a muted scream, and it sounds pretty cool. And the makeup that you have there is
Thank you.
freaking badass. Like,
Badass.
it looks a little uncomfortable, probably to wear for a long time, but it looks like you had a lot of fun with it, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely, not something I would do on every show or something, but for like
Right.
one music video or for a photo shoot, I love to be creative. Actually, that's what I've been doing before I became a musician. I was hair and makeup artist.
Cool.
You can
Mhm.
definitely tell it in your work. So you designed your costume, correct, for the video?
Yes, I put things together. I have a basic knowledge of like how to saw certain things together. So I do things manually. I'm not a professional at all, but definitely get inspired sometimes by seeing a piece here and there in the movies, or like all around, and just sometimes they get stuck to me and they inspire me. I didn't know what I was going for exactly when I was trying to think what should I wear, because I only knew that it's going to be in the forest and in the dark. It was actually during the night. So yeah, I don't know. I wanted to be like a creature that you can't even name, something you haven't seen before, and like a forest creature. I don't know. Like, so that's why I would just went crazy without really having any specific type of inspirations and be like, I want to be this exact thing.
It
Anything
worked out
weird?
beautifully.
Thank you.
Anything weird happen while you're in the forest at nighttime? Like,
No, besides the fact that there was a lot of mosquitoes.
is,
Uh,
is that the inside of your hand tattooed?
What?
Is the inside of your hand tattooed?
yeah.
Yeah, you normally you don't see inside. Maybe times have changed now. I'm going back to like the late, early 2000s where hand tattoos normally didn't stick as well, but that looks like it.
Well, you do them a couple of times sometimes, and also people through time they developed a specific technique. So for areas that we use the most, so we wash our hands so much. That's the main reason why it doesn't stick so well.
Right. So now you
Also,
just don't wash your hands anymore.
correct.
So with your lyrics, you wrote the lyrics, correct?
Yes, I'm the songwriter in Infected Rain.
That is absolutely stunning. The
Thank you.
lyrics are so deep in that song, and so the video, it being so deep,
Yeah,
it just intertwines so well. So
thank you.
tell us about the meaning of the lyrics, the meaning of the song.
Well, Longing is actually a song that was written very easily for me. It was very easy to put it together because I knew exactly what I was going for.
Mhm.
And mainly, I had in mind a specific person from my personal life. So a personal experience when I was witnessing how much this person is not present, and more like the needs of this person were always something that someone else has, always something that is advertised, or that in I don't know. So it was overwhelming because that person would never appreciate what he or she already has, right?
Mhm.
And the only two things that people know what to do nowadays is either to dwell on the past and blame the past for every single thing,
That's what I do.
or live too much in the future and save all the money and think about like I'm saving for something, and work, and they don't even remember what happens in their life, and one day they wake up and then they're 50 years old and they still think about the future instead of enjoying life and seeing what surrounds you and appreciating people and love and emotion and colors and weathers and these things, the things that have no price.
To
That's so
being in the
cool.
present moment.
Yeah.
That's so cool because like I swear to God today, like just this morning, I was getting ready for work and I was like, I wish when I was 16, skateboarding with all my friends in high school, and it's, I'm almost 40 now, so it's easy for me to go back and be like, man, I really wish I enjoyed that more. But
Mhm.
talking about now, I think I did enjoy it at the time. It's just
Yeah.
now in the past, and I'm just dwelling on it because I'm a loser. Nothing about no, but
We all do.
you really, really
We all are
enjoy the
guilty.
moment. You have to
We-
enjoy the moment and don't think too
Absolutely.
much about the future, because then you're right. Next thing you know, you're 50, 60 years old and you're thinking, where the hell my life
Yeah,
go?
exactly. And while doing that, you won't even notice how you're hurting people that are already in your life and that are so loving
I
and
love that.
they try so much for you, and you're oblivious. So this
Love
is
it.
what
Yeah.
the song is about.
It's like having your face in your phone and your important moments is right there in front of you.
Yep. Kind of.
Yeah.
I know. Like last night, I was last night I was playing video games with my daughter, and I was getting some text messages, and I went to go to text, and I probably should just continue playing the video game with her because it's a memory that she'll
Yeah,
have, playing video games with her dad, and so I need to learn to put my
absolutely.
phone down and just
Yes.
live in the
we
moment,
do, we
especially
all look we all understand. My work is all around this
Yep,
device,
yep,
seriously. Like I
yep.
have so many social medias, so many things regarding the band, regarding some of my private things that I do, and I'm constantly working, but I learned how to sit down and not really touch my phone while I eat, for example. I can still
Mhm.
put it next to me and see the notifications, but I learned to not take the phone right away. Unless
Mhm.
I know I'm in the middle of something important and I'm waiting on something to click or share because it's important for the band. But
Sure.
normally, yes, I taught myself that. I'm still guilty sometimes, but when I sit down to watch a movie or to have dinner or something like that, I put my phone down, and it doesn't matter how many notifications are
Hold on,
there.
I got a text
Because,
message.
hey, there you go.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But see,
No,
it's
that's so
really
cool. I love that. Look, we don't have a whole lot of time left. I do want to ask one more thing, then Don, I'll let you take over. Um, touring. How hard is it to tour with the band in Moldova and you being over here? Is that going to be something that's very doable for you guys to meet up and
We've
wherever
been
you
doing
want
that
to go?
for a long time. Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, we've been doing that before
We're like,
COVID a
no,
lot.
duh.
I mean,
We got it handled. Cool,
seriously.
cool.
so you guys you have a tour coming up.
Mhm.
So
We
you want
have
to tell us?
actually two tours coming up that we
Mhm.
announced. Unfortunately, the first one, European tour, we had to cancel the first part, so we are only keeping the second part. In fact, it starts in April, and obviously, fingers crossed, nothing changes last minute. We did to have some changes, unfortunately, because of what's happening in the world currently in Eastern Europe, and my country borders with Ukraine, so our airport is shut down. It's pretty crazy out there. So we had to tweak a few things and change a few things, but we are trying to keep the second part of European tour. And seriously, 5 days apart from that, 5 days after, we start our American tour, North American tour, May, April, and June.
What
That's
is your
exciting.
starting venue? What is your starting venue? Do you know?
LA.
LA?
Yeah,
Perfect.
this year we start this on this coast.
Well, I'm excited to see you guys touring here in the United States. It's thrilling.
Thank you.
So
Well, you should come to the shows if we
I'm
are around.
absolutely going to. If you're around my area, I will see
Mhm.
you there.
I'll come and I'll be, hey, remember me?
That's
No,
I'll be like, oh, you're the guy that asked that question.
that's you, huh? Yeah, all right. Get him out of here. He's kicked out of the venue. Security. No,
So
seriously. You guys are awesome. Go ahead, Don. We got to wrap this up here in a little bit, but go ahead.
I wanted to ask you if do you have Patreon links, Linktree, Bandcamp, anything? Go ahead and announce that now, and let's let our
Yeah,
followers
absolutely.
get on it.
Absolutely.
So
Patreon is Lena Scissorhands. All my social medias are Lena Scissorhands. Band, we have a band's YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel called Bananas, where I share so much about my private life, the behind the scenes of the band, processes of recording and photo shooting and cooking and all kinds of stuff. So join us everywhere, and share our music if you think it touched you. So that means a lot for us.
absolutely. And I want to tell everybody, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for sharing us. Follow us on Patreon, YouTube, your streaming apps. It really helps. It means a lot to us. Just giving the thumbs up, comments, show us
Support,
the
support.
love. Show Infected Rain the love. buy the merch. When you go
Mhm.
to shows, buy the merch, buy the albums. Streaming is fantastic. We love streaming. Do it. But when you
Mhm.
buy the merchandise, that's where the money comes in to support your bands.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, for sure. We definitely are here because you allow it.
right, right.
All right. And if you want to hear some more shitty questions by Sebastian, make sure to tune in on the Loud Spot on YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Once again, everywhere we go. I know Don already said it. I do want to thank Lena one more time. Infected Rain, such a
Thank you,
badass
Lena.
band. Thank you for taking
you.
time out of your afternoon to come join us today. Hey, please stay right there till after the outro song plays, if you will. That's all we got. Peace out. Rock on.
Much love.
Here we go.
This is the Loud Spot outro by nothing short of tragic. Is this all talk with no action? No. Is this my thoughts with distraction? No. Is this what I bought that's in fashion? Or is this the Loud Spot with Sebastian? Yes. Does nothing short of tragic have us back again? Yes. Does everything that's good really have to end? Yes. Our pimp host has to pimp show, so to get more episodes, make an order, this is over.
Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to click the like and share button.
Don't forget to go to our YouTube and subscribe.
If you want to listen to our audio and pick up some cool merch, go to www.theloudspot.net. Peace out, rock on, much love.